Hi, thanks for the time. In this video, I'm going to share my screen and walk you through a Google Ads account that I've personally managed. I'll focus on how I analyze performance, how I make decisions, and how I connect what's happening in the platform to real business outcomes. I'll also answer a few experience-based questions toward the end. I'll start with my column setup. I'm very intentional here, and I don't overload the interface with every available metric. The main metrics I prioritize are conversions or conversion value, cost, CPA or ROAS depending on the business model, CTR, CPC, conversion rate, and impression share for key campaigns. These metrics together tell me if the traffic is relevant, converting, and profitable. I don't use the exact same metrics for every campaign type. For example, in upper funnel campaigns, I care more about CTR and CPC. In high intent campaigns like search or shopping, the focus shifts much more towards CPA, ROAS, and scalable volume. In terms of tracking and attribution, I typically work with GA4 alongside Google Ads conversion tracking. I also use UTMs consistently so I can validate performance outside the platform. I don't make decisions based solely on Google Ads data. I cross-check things like on-site behavior and conversion paths in GA4 to make sure the traffic is actually doing something meaningful. In cases where tracking isn't perfect, I focus on trend validation. I look for whether changes in Google Ads are reflected in real revenue. If those two things don't move together, that's usually a red flag. Now, looking at the campaign structure, this account is built with clarity. Campaigns are separated by intent, so brand and non-brand are clearly split. Search, shopping, and performance max are also separated so budgets and performance don't bleed into each other. When I inherit messy accounts, the first thing I do is not optimization, it's restructuring. Without a clean structure, the data becomes noisy. One of the main improvements came from reducing wasted spend and refocusing budget on real intent. I reduced spend on campaigns with decent platform metrics but low quality leads. Overall, lead quality improved, even if volume went down. Success isn't just about platform metrics. I measure success based on lead quality, actual sales, and revenue impact. Now I'll move into a few experience-based questions. One best practice I ignore is automating everything too early. In smaller accounts, I've seen smart bidding make poor decisions. I prefer manual control until there's enough data for the system to learn. I've worked with PMAX setups that looked strong but were mostly cannibalizing branded search and remarketing traffic. When I paused PMAX, overall revenue didn't drop. Since then, I'm very cautious and evaluate it based on real business lift. Attribution is another area where people get misled. Google tends to overcredit itself. Attribution doesn't always equal incrementality. Finally, creative can be the biggest lever. I diagnose this when traffic metrics look healthy, but conversion rates are weak. Changing the messaging or offer had a much bigger impact than any bid adjustment. Creative alignment is key. To wrap up, my overall approach is simple. I start with the business, not the platform. I optimize for real outcomes. Thanks for your time.